host the milestone 50-day countdown to the Nelson Mandela Centenary celebration. This is a countdown to the 18th of July, when the late former president Nelson Mandela would have turned 100 years old, with the hashtag 100 Live His Legacy being encouraged on social media. The Minister of Communications, Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane, will be one of the keynote speakers, and she's sitting right next to me. Good to have you, Minister. Thank you so much for coming in to talk to us.
Thank you very much, Leanne, and morning to the viewers.
So we're talking 50 days. This is the 50-day countdown now.
Yes, just 50 days, and I'm sure those of us who are mothers, we know the 50 days before birth.
Yes.
And it is one of those moments where you can't wait. You can't wait. And on this one, it is about the countdown towards living his legacy, looking at how best we can all contribute towards the rebuilding of our country, celebrating the selflessness that he had demonstrated through his life, his education, his family, his entire family, serving the people of South Africa, but also carrying along the vision, the torch that he had carried all along for a united, a non-racial, and a non-sexist but prosperous South Africa. We must attend to issues of young people who are unemployed. We must deal with the issues of crime, vulnerability of women. We must deal with an economy that creates jobs. We must make South Africa to be part of a peaceful world. We must support the people of Palestine so that then they can also be ordinary South Africans and human beings in the globe whose rights are respected. We must remember the women of Sahrawi, but of importance, we must love and respect each other.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that those are the key messages that Tata stood for, and will continue to live his legacy. But let's talk about the role of the SABC in all of this. Obviously, this is the event taking place. We, as the public broadcaster, have possibly the biggest platform in the country to spread this message and this word and this countdown legacy. Talk to us about our responsibility.
Not only in the country, but in the continent and in the globe. We contribute towards nation building and building social cohesion, particularly through the public broadcaster, and therefore whatever programs that would be running and whatever information, it must be developmental, it must empower, and most importantly, it must remind those who were not there the journey that Madiba has traveled, but it must also reassure those who were never there that indeed there's hope in this country, the future looks bright, and that the future is in their hands. And therefore, a lot of messaging must empower young people, must make sure that it also contributes towards closing the gap between the rich and the poor. And the SABC must contribute in terms of demonstrating our history in terms of heritage sites. It must demonstrate in terms of the trials and tribulations of Madiba. It must also help us to then say, what is it that is still outstanding that Madiba had envisaged? One of that is access to free healthcare. Yeah. One of that is a non-racial South Africa. One of that is the total emancipation of women. And amongst other things, it's an informed citizenry that would really contribute towards building a peaceful world.
Yeah, I just want to sort of get an idea from you as to what is going to happen in these 50 days. I mean, we're launching something. What are we launching?
There is going to be a lot of activities. There's going to be memorial lectures that are going to be done, launching of books, including of Umamu Albertina Sisulu, yes, because these two icons, these two revolutionaries have just been together over time, even in Madiba's last days. One of the things that she would actually, yes, she will be turning 100 years. Yeah. That Madiba would always say, Ntiki is a good comrade. So we will demonstrate that in terms of focusing on health, focusing on education, focusing on memorial sites and institutions, matters that have to do even with our heritage sites, such as your botanical gardens that have been named after Babu Walter Sisulu, and finally the three foundations, the Sisulu Foundation, the Tambo Foundation, the Mandela Foundation, working together with government and the private sector, would actually be showing off the legacy of the two through the naming, through the adoption of programs, and most importantly, through partnerships, because we will not just be having activities that are done only in South Africa, the world over. And the SABC will show South Africans how the world respect the contribution that Madiba has made, and also how the world respect this woman who carried the liberation movement when the leaders of the ANC were in exile, others were in prison. Masisulu became the symbol of resistance as the leader of the United Democratic Front.
All right, we leave it there. Good luck. Enjoy it.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for popping up here first, because I know there's a big function down there.
Yes,
but we really
thank you
appreciate
very
your
much.
time.
Thanks.
This is our Minister of Communications talking to us, Nomvula Mokonyane, and talking to us about this 50-day countdown to the Nelson Mandela Centenary, which of course is the celebration of his birthday. He would have turned 100 years old, and that's on the 18th of July. The function's taking place here at the SABC at the Radio Park. Starts at 8 o'clock this morning, and of course the event will be brought to you live on SAFM, Mhlombo Wenene FM, Lesedi FM, Mungana Lonene FM, and Channel Africa radio stations. So we're making sure that you have every little bit of access to not miss this function. All right, so we're going to wrap the news here for now. We'll bring you all of our top stories once again in about 20 minutes from now, those that we're following this morning. But let's wrap it up with a look at your market indicators.